Jeremiah Trotter joins us.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, dude?
Good. How y'all doing, man?
Now, are you a golfer, or are you doing this because it's the event and you're not a golfer? Like you're here for the day?
No, I'm a golfer. I love golf.
Oh, yeah?
I'm just in the middle of changing my swing.
Uh-oh.
So you know how that goes. I'm trying to be patient. You got to take 10 steps forward just to get 1 or 2 steps.
Yeah.
So golf is frustrating for me right now, but I'm gonna stick with it.
Well,
it's gonna help me.
Why'd you change the swing? I mean,
because I hurt my back one day swinging. And when you're swinging incorrectly, and I'm not getting any younger, so I wanted to make sure I'm swinging correctly while I can continue to play.
because I heard you bombed the ball. So
Not right now.
Not right now.
When you change your swing, man, you got so much going through your head. You're not focusing on bombing. You just want to finish inside out on the ball, make good contact, and then once I get that down, then I can start trying to unload on the ball.
Now we obviously we love Ike.
Right.
How would you say his swing is?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I wish you could see the look with the laugh, by the way.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't seen Ike play in a long time.
Okay.
I just have ingrained in my mind the first few times when he first started playing. So he's obviously a different player now, right? But, so he said he's got better. I see him on the course. He's getting his game in,
Well, he used to have the graphite gloves when I first started playing with him. The feet were jumping all over the place. So he's
first time I played with him, he was out there with some king cobras, man. I was like, yo, hey, Ike. You're not fooling anybody when you show up with some king cobras. I'm just being honest with
you. He's getting better. He's getting better.
You have all your old teammates here. As you get older and you have these opportunities to get back with these guys,
right.
Do you look back and appreciate that time in a
no
more
doubt.
and more the older
doubt.
you get?
No doubt, man. You just you don't get a chance to see those guys often. So events like this for a good cause, for a great person, and then you get to just see all your old teammates, man, sit around and just all the stories you tell, you get better and better as you get older.
Yeah. The stories get better.
Yeah, you get better and better. You was better than you was last year.
Yeah.
So it's always cool, man, just to reconnect with those guys, and this is a great event to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was it like? I mean, obviously, Trot's on the team this year.
Right.
They go to the Super Bowl. He breaks out your old celebration in the Super Bowl. I mean, how cool was that?
It's almost like watching your kid take his first steps, man.
Yeah.
As a parent, just a proud dad, and I just remember all the hard work and dedication and sacrifices that he put into the game, and it's not easy growing up being the son of, I don't want to use legend, other people use it, but just a guy that had a lot of success in this area, and then you got the same name. So it can be a lot of pressure.
And playing for the same team.
Same team.
Yep.
But even before that, just little league growing up, just being the son of Jeremiah Trotter, man, I can't imagine what it's like. But he's always handled it with grace. And for him, people ask him, is it pressure? He was like, man, my dad always been my dad, so it's just dad to me. So
right. Doesn't know any other way.
No way. So
right.
he just put the work in. Just put the work in and just go out and do what you've been doing since you was little.
And then for you must. Obviously, you must be very, very proud of him,
right.
and proud of what he's doing and where he's doing it. But I would imagine also you don't want to be you don't want him in your shadow all the time. So is that a balance for you or
he doesn't have a choice?
Right. That's a good point.
He's in my shadow no matter what.
Right.
You play the same sport. Same position, same number, and wear the same name. By default, because your last name, you're in my shadow. But when you put all those things in there, and listen, I told him, when you just put the work in, man, you put the work in, and you have the God-given ability. You just trust God. Everything else will take care of itself. You just keep working and just wait for your opportunities, man. And what opportunity you get, make the best of it.
This year's team. What now? Hugh's yelling.
Hey man,
he
didn't want me messing with him earlier while he was on the air.
Yeah,
so now he won't mess with me.
No respect.
Zero.
Guys got no respect.
Zero.
Yeah.
He's gonna walk in front of the YouTube thing again.
Yeah.
Running around trying to see your golf swing.
Oh,
Well, He's in between swings.
You don't want to see it right now. Yeah,
yeah,
you don't want to see it right now.
Yep.
This year's team, they lose a lot of snaps on defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of players that played a lot of snaps coming from a number one defense. Like how if I'm a fan looking at it saying they lost one of their best edges, one of their best tackles, their CB2, their starting safety. Like how do I think that I'm confident in next year's defense losing what they lost?
Well, you just have to trust the process. You know that they've drafted well, and that they do make some moves in free agency, and that's normal. Anytime you win a Super Bowl, and guys up for contract, they're going to get paid, and they deserve to go get paid, right? So it's always a high turnover when you win the Super Bowl because everybody wants a piece of winners. So, and two, if you win the Super Bowl, you got a lot of guys on your team playing very well, right? If not, then you're not going to go that deep in the playoffs. So, those guys deserve what they got, man. You just got the next man up. It's got to be next man up mentality, and I'm confident that those guys will have the right pieces in place.
How about the job Vic Fangio did? I mean, what did you kind of see from Vic? Was it just bringing like an old school mentality back to this defense?
I mean, he definitely has an old school mentality. He doesn't like to blitz a lot, right? He's different. He reminds me a lot of Jim Johnson, not the blitzing part, just his mentality. And to go into the Super Bowl and play one snap of man-to-man, I'm not sure how many times they blitzed. It wasn't a lot. But anytime you can get to the quarterback with the front four, you can beat anybody. It reminds me a lot of New York when they won it, when they had that great front four back in the day. And they beat
the Patriots both years.
With Patriots, yeah. Had a great front four, and when you don't have to blitz, and you're still getting that pressure, and that defense reminds me a lot of that.
Well, it seems like it takes so much. Like if he gets the right amount of buy-in from the players, because it does seem like when you're playing that way, you might be giving up personal stats, especially for pass rushers, for the sturdiness of the defense. So it seems like buy-in with his defense is pretty important.
Well, I think buy-in is for every defense, no matter what level you are. So the players have to buy in, but I don't think the players sacrifice any stats because we had a bunch of guys had a lot of sacks this past year, and they was getting to the quarterback, and when you got the players we had last year on that defensive line, we had some guys had great years, bro. So, and I'm confident they'll replace those guys.
What about, you're obviously, I think, an Eagles legend. I know you don't want to say that earlier. Absolute Eagles legend. What's it like seeing a kid like Jalen Carter just burst onto the scene and just like command the entire defensive line? It felt like how great of a player could we be watching in Jalen Carter?
Well, we knew going into the draft he was the best player in the draft. He just dropped because he had some off the field issues, right? So he was, to me, he wasn't. I ain't gonna say it wasn't close, but he was on most people's boards. He was the best player in the draft that year, and he fell to the Eagles at 10, 11?
I think they traded up to 9.
9?
Yeah.
So there's nothing he's doing surprises me, And the word is on the street, he doesn't even know how to play the position yet. I'm listen from some guys I talked to inside. He doesn't even know how to play the position yet.
Wow.
He's just playing off of raw talent.
Wow.
So the sky's the limit for this kid, So I'm excited about his future.
It was pretty impressive seeing him basically for the second half of the year playing every snap of the game as well. Like not just being good, but out there every single play.
And not just being out there, not just taking up space.
Right.
Taking over the game, So
Yep.
that's a lot of snaps for a defensive tackle.
Yeah. In that Rams game, he had enough left at the end of the game to get to Matt Stafford. If he doesn't do that, the Eagles might not even be in the Super Bowl, and that's after playing the entire game.
Well, it helps too. When you're on the number one defense, you're not playing a lot of snaps. You're getting off the field.
You're getting off the field.
You can't be the number one defense, playing a whole lot, giving up long drives and things like that. So they was getting off the field, but like you said, it's still impressive for one guy to get that many snaps, especially at the defensive line position.
All right. Well, we thank you for coming over, man.
Hey, man.
Good luck on
Appreciate you guys having me.
on the reinvention of the swing. We hope when we're talking to you next year,
Hopefully
you're in. And Mike Quick is over there saying, "Man, Trotter, he redid a swing. I don't know if I'm as good as him now." So
hopefully,
that's what we're looking forward to.
He's a problem.
Yeah,
He's a problem.
yeah.
All right, you guys have a good one.
All right,
thanks,
thank you.
Trotter.
There he is, Jeremiah Trotter, Eagles legend, as Jack said.
Yeah.